Hey everyone, Michael here. It is a little after 11 o'clock. I am almost to the far end of Pleasant Lake in this year's paddle around the pond. And I got to tell you, I have enjoyed the journey immensely. It started out a little overcast, but now the sun is trying to peek out. I noticed down along the eastern shoreline, the skies are blue, so I'm looking forward to some more sunshine as time goes on. I took the opposite route that I did last time around 2 years ago, and so I had a chance to kind of look at some of the other camps as I was coming up along the north shore of the lake, and I also saw nine loons, starting with a couple that popped out in front of me right down in our cove. Not the least bit perplexed that I was there. And I bet probably I was 5 feet. And I knew if I went to get the camera to take a picture, they'd just duck underwater. So unfortunately, I have no proof of that. But kept seeing loons all the way up. 9 loons. I saw an eagle right around Barker Rocks on this side of the road, or side of the pond, I should say. And there was a little bird, the funniest little thing, that I don't know what kind of bird it was, but it saw me and it kept flying a little ahead of me, landing on a rock, and followed me almost all the way down here. So had a chance to see a little wildlife, have a chance once again to get reacquainted with this beautiful spot. And gotta tell you, friends, that one of the things that I have been struck with on this trip, and actually, truth be told, I am struck by this every year that we come back to the lake here. It's about the changing landscape of things around here. Understand that some things on this pond are unchanging. Later on, I hope to have a chance to show you some of that. We have rocks that line this shore all the way around. Huge rocks that have been here for millions of years, ever since time when the glaciers came through. And they stay constant. Plus, we are very blessed here to have crystal clear, pristine water here, spring fed, and lots of forest that is privately owned, and the owners have an eye towards preservation and ecology. So we've been very blessed about this. I'm now just beyond the last camp, and I won't see another home or another person on shore for quite some time. But, I say there is a changing landscape, and there is. I mean, one of the things that you see, at least down on our end of the lake, is that little shacks became camps, became beautiful four-season homes. There are lots of boats, lots of boats, and not just kayaks either. There's development that you see increasing from year to year, and there's an awful lot of new folks on the pond. We have new neighbors, in fact, on the pond this year. And that's always interesting and exciting, getting to know people. Matter of fact, I'm guessing there's about 3 families on our side of the lake, or at least in our little neighborhood, that were there when I was growing up. So there's lots and lots of change. Things are not the same as when I grew up. Things aren't the same as when we brought our kids up here and their grandparents were still at the camp. I mean, things change. And that's one thing for certain, and I think that's true for life too, and it's certainly true for the church. It strikes me that the church is in the midst of a changing landscape right now. That ever since the pandemic, it went on before that, but ever since the pandemic, there's a lot of changes going on, and those who study these things tell us that since the pandemic, people haven't necessarily been back to church, even though we're back and worshiping in person and doing the things that we as churches have always done. And we are looking at some challenges. Families don't come to church the way they used to. Sunday school isn't a thing the way it was just a few years ago. It's harder and harder to get families and kids involved in church, any church. And so these are things that we have to pray on, and things that we really do have to work on. And I hope to have a lot to say about that in the coming weeks here at East Church. But for now, I think it's encouraging to realize that even though a whole lot of things change, there are some things that are constant, like the wonder and the beauty of creation, and the providence and the care and the love of God in all things. I'm so grateful that you are taking part in this journey with me, and I thank you for support. This craziness of paddling around the pond. I'm going to keep on paddling now, and hopefully I'll have some pictures and some videos for you later on. And have a wonderful, blessed day, and thanks be to God. We'll talk to you soon.